I've been doing some soul searching for Tekken. A lot of y'all that have been on my channel know I started off playing June, but recently I've been looking for a new character, bro. And maybe it's just because I still miss Miguel. I want him to come back. But I guess that led me to some deeper diving of like, why? Like, what is it about Miguel that has me so excited to see him back? And why do I feel like I can't capture that essence in any of the characters, the 30-something characters that exist in Tekken 8? Why am I still so hell-bent on Miguel being the one to come back over anybody else in the roster? And I mean, we've seen the plethora of YouTube videos that released as a response talking about, oh, here's a beginner's guide to picking a character. What characters are beginner friendly? What should you start off with? What should you look for in a character? You know, we've seen all of that. So I figured I'd use some of this soul searching to help those who might also be struggling, whether it be in fighting games or in FPSs. Because I mean, the same thing can happen in an FPS where you feel like there's a character meant to handle these types of situations, but you feel like that's not the character that resonates with you. So maybe me in this, not rant, but explanation can help you to kind of put those pieces together for yourself. Starting off with the aesthetic of the character. You know, Miguel is a very angry individual, and there's a lot of characters that embody that. You know, Brian's right there, Dragunov's right there, also arguably one of the best characters in the game, embodies that angriness, Kazuya as well. But, you know, I've played them and they just didn't feel like they were getting the job done. Maybe it'll be his favorite moves. You know, I was a big fan of the Superman punch, which I mean, Shaheen and Steve both have orbital like Superman punches that come across like that. I'm a big fan of hatchet kicks as well. Once again, Dragunov, Brian possessing those types of, Azucena as well, having a hatchet kick of sorts. Being a stance-based character coming in and out of that savage stance. I mean, half the cast seems like they have some type of stance transition, you know. Steve with Lionheart, June with Miyari and Genjutsu stances, you know, a lot of characters having cancels that people treat like a stance. You can find everything that he has in the plethora of different characters, which is why you've seen me mess around with a lot of the different characters like June, Azucena, Steve, like I mentioned, trying some new characters out like Lee and seeing some of those similarities, but it still just felt like it wasn't what I was looking for. And then I came across it in a YouTube video.
Straightforward game plan, not having to worry about tight inputs in a match, just on your own ideas.
I just really like a basic character, but it's not for the reason you think. You know, a lot of easier characters tend to get a lot of flack because, oh, you know, you're shooting yourself in the foot by playing an easier character instead of taking that time to struggle and really learn the game. And that's not the reason why I enjoy simple characters, because trust me, I've played a bunch of the more execution heavy characters in this game. I've considered, you know, Lee in his just frames. I've considered Brian in his execution, right? And I've had a lot of fun with Brian. That was probably one of the characters I had the most fun with when soul searching for a new main. But it really just came down to, it's a blank canvas. That's how I treat it, at least. It's a blank canvas, and you determine how you play the character, right? If I play a character like Brian or Steve who's very counter hit heavy, most people already understand that that's going to be 98% of your game plan. So they're looking out for those moves so that they don't get hit by it. If I'm playing a character that is meant to be evasive, they're going to be throwing more tracking moves at me because they know I'm going to want to be moving around them a lot. Whereas if I'm playing a basic character, I can pilot the character however I want to. If I want to play a very counter hit based play style, I have the tools for that, right? Very much a jack of all trades type of character, but playing to the character's specific strengths, right? So it's not just I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. More so, I'm a jack of all trades, but I have this ace in the hole, if you will. I still have something that makes my character unique that I can play into if I so desire, instead of it just being I have all of these options and nothing that makes me unique, which is why I noticed that I tend to like characters like Miguel in Tekken 7, like Giovanna in Guilty Gear Strive. A lot of these characters get met with this concept of They are easy and simple enough when it comes to a game plan, which is what I like, because I can come up with a game plan in my head that is not normal compared to what the character is known for doing. I know what characteristics the character possesses, but it's up to me to decide how I want to use those properties. Same thing when it came to me trying 2x KO. I thought I was going to be all over Echo because they, advertised him as a tricky character. He can do whatever you bring your mind up to. And I was like, oh, I be coming up with stuff in my head all the time, so this is going to be perfect for me. I ended up liking Ari because she was a lot more simple, but with that blank canvas approach, I can find characters to tag her with to make her play however I want her to. I can use tools to try and mix people up off Wake Up. I can use tools to make her super rush down. I have tools that can turn her into a keep out character. But Ari was my main character that I would try and keep throughout any team I built. Same way with Miguel, where regardless of the tools I have, it's up to me to use them how I see fit in the matchup that I may be facing. And like I said, this isn't unique to just fighting games either. There are a bunch of shooters out there like Overwatch, Apex, Valorant, most recently Deadlock, where there are a lot of different characters that people are playing as, trying to build a team around. If it's a game like Apex or Overwatch or Deadlock, where it's a 3v3, 5v5, 6v6 scenario, right? There are a lot of characters that are advertised as great for new players, but some of the advanced players may enjoy using those characters because it gives them more creative freedom. They don't feel like they're locked down to whatever archetype the character is advertised as. If it's a simple to play character, they might be able to come up with more creative ways to use them compared to a character that's seen as complex, but their complexity comes from you have to play this character like this in order to unlock all of the tricky options, to unlock all of the movement options. And it's a shame to see these characters get such a bad rap in a sense because, oh, this character is so easy to play, I don't want to play it, even though the character could be the exact playstyle they're looking for or embody that exact aesthetic that they may be looking for that they can't find in other characters. But they're almost shunned away from playing the character because, oh, it's too easy, or you'll be considered carried by playing this character. And one of my favorite examples of this is a pro Tekken player by the name of King Ray Jr. who does just that. They play a relatively quote-unquote easy character deemed by the community, Asuka, where a lot of people have been venting that, hey, this character is very good, has a lot of good tools. With how easy she is to play, some people feel like that's not fair. But King Ray responded by saying, hey, if she's so easy to play, you go do it. And I've adapted this same mindset when it comes to other things. Me being a content creator, there have been times where I'm like, okay, a lot of people in the comments showing hate, feeling like, oh, June is so easy. I've had those interactions as well. And I've kind of said the same thing. If you hate my content or you feel like I'm so bad at the content, you go do it. And of course, that's easier said than done. It's a lot that goes into this. And just like with the characters, a lot of people tend to learn that, right, there is a lot more that goes into this character than just, oh, I'm pressing this button, switching it to this button, and suddenly I win the game. No, it's not going to be that easy. Sometimes it could be if they don't know how to respond to it, but it's not always going to be that easy. I say all this to reiterate the point of the video. Simple characters matter. Regardless of whether you love them, hate them, want to love them, wish they didn't exist, every character has a reason for being there. Even if it doesn't make immediate sense to you, the dev team puts some level of thought into these characters, into the game that they're making, whatever scenario it may be. There's a reason that those characters exist. Somebody out there in the world is playing that character, even if you in your head cannot wrap your mind around why somebody would play that character. And even off the top of my head, I have some characters that come to mind. Apex, it could be Vantage. For Street Fighter, it could be Blanca. Tekken for me for a while, it was Yoshimitsu. I'm like, these characters exist just to be trolly or just, you know, for the sake of adding another character to the game, you know, buffing up the roster size. But no, there are people who genuinely enjoy those characters to the point that you can even see them be played at a high level. Put some respect on the simple character's name. It's not all bad. You might have fun. You know, there's a lot, especially in this era of gaming, where a lot of people are claiming that games have died or they're falling off and all of this negativity. Maybe it's time for you to step back and play one of the simple characters. Even if it's not to compete at the highest level, maybe you'll have some fun with it. Maybe it'll re-spark your appreciation for the game that you spend all this time or want to spend all this time playing. Just food for thought. This video went a little different. Normally I'd have like a full script of a video essay to break these things down. This one was more so just me thinking out loud. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of soul searching when it came to Tekken 8. I've been playing June. That's just part of the reason why y'all haven't seen me play Tekken in about a month or 2 months. This was just me thinking out loud, and hopefully if other people may be struggling with this, you had a character that didn't come back, or you're trying a new game and don't know how to find your character, hopefully this can be of some assistance. If you did enjoy it, let me know in the comments, or just like the video. Both let me know that y'all appreciate this style of content or it helped you in some way towards your decisions. But without further ado, I appreciate you for staying around this long, and I'll see you in the next video.